Hey all, lately I've been exploring games I remember playing from my childhood, and recently I came across one I felt deserved some talking about. This is my retrospective on the SNES game specifically named Spider-Man and the X-Men in Arcade's Revenge. And if you know anything about LJN, you know exactly what kind of game this is. For those who do not know, LJN was a toy company that went defunct in 1995, but not before they licensed a bunch of comics and movies and made a ton of shitty games based on them as a cash grab using these popular names. As you can clearly see from this game's name, they just grabbed a bunch of popular names during the time and smashed it into a title. Anyway, let's get into the game itself. To complete this game you have to play levels as Spider-Man, Wolverine, Gambit, Storm, and Cyclops as you fight through Arcade's murder world. The main reason I wanted to talk about this game was specifically Wolverine's second level, and to challenge everyone watching this video to go try that level, blind, and tell me how you feel about the level. However, before we get into that, let's start at the beginning. Before you pick which character's level you want to start with, the very first level starts off playing as Spider-Man. Now I found the best way to describe this first level is in the words of something a wise man once told me. Honestly, whoever designed this first Spider-Man level should be killed. So yeah, it starts off great. So how exactly does it start? Well, you get this small level where you have to collect these items. Seriously, I can't figure out what these represent. If anyone knows, please let me know. The problem is you can only collect them when they're blinking, so you have to do it in the proper order. If you get close to it, you get greeted by an annoying spider sense noise telling you which direction it is. So basically, the first level is just hide and seek, but the items are ordered in the most annoying way possible by forcing you to constantly backtrack or go to the wrong path. Once you collect them all, the level finishes, and it unlocks all the characters, so you get to pick which order you play the levels from here. Childhood me, and well, turns out adult me, will always pick Wolverine first. So his first level brought back the most memories for me. It's filled with some weird ass toyland and grating music. The best part is the only way to heal is to sheath your claws and attack with your fists, because that's glaringly obvious. Wolverine's healing ability clearly hinges on punching people to death, everyone knows that. Once you beat this clunky as hell level, you unlock Wolverine's second level. But we'll come back to this level towards the end of the video. So next up, we're going to look at Spider-Man and Cyclops together, because both of the levels were just forgettable garbage levels where you zap or web through enemies in either a construction site or a mine for whatever reason. These levels aren't over the top bad, but they're not designed in a way for fun, so let's just move on. Storm is up next. She controls the weather, but underwater, so she's like a fish weather witch or something, I don't know. I feel they confused Storm with Aquaman or something. Both of her levels take place entirely underwater, and her life meter is also her oxygen meter, because that makes sense. If you get attacked underwater by fish, you lose oxygen. True to life, right? Anyway, so Fish Storm is great at shooting wind underwater, and it does absolutely nothing. So instead you just rely on the underwater lightning bolts that don't electrify everything for some reason, and destroy menacing fish monsters and weird-ass machines that make the water levels rise. I don't know. These two levels were just really bizarre. So that leaves us just with Gambit's levels, which may actually rival the second Wolverine level in terms of just awful. Now if any of this looks vaguely familiar to anyone, please let me know, because I have no idea where Gambit is, other than he's seemingly being chased by a giant boulder in a black empty area where there's machines flying at him and shooting bullets everywhere, and a very fast-paced level that just throws shit everywhere. None of it makes sense, and Gambit is the only character limited by the amount of attacks he can make. You have to kill things to get more cards, because throwing cards and stuff turns monsters into more cards, obviously. He's constantly getting hit. There's no way to have gotten through this without some kind of save state cheese for me, or if I felt like dedicating my time to mastering this terrible game. So yeah, I made the obvious choice. That brings us to what I believe to be one of the worst levels I've ever seen. Now do yourselves a favor, go get this game and get right into Wolverine's second level blind. Try and beat it and report back to me in the comments below. Let me know how it goes. Stop the video here before I spoil it for you, and come back when you do. I'll timestamp this point for the description for an easy return time. So anyway, let's actually look at Wolverine's second level. First of all, Juggernaut runs at you in the most hilarious fashion, and the objective is to drop anvils and 1-ton blocks that somehow hang by rope everywhere. Why? I don't know. How is it possible? Really good rope? I don't get it. Anyway, this brings about the first aggravation, hitting the damn ropes. Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. You can seemingly hit it in the same spot over and over, and only sometimes does it actually cut them down. When I first tried, I was just getting him to run into all the anvils, racing along hoping he'd eventually die. But no, if you do this long enough, you get to the end of the level, and get to an infinite ball pit of death. Yes, ball pits are death in this game apparently. The trick is not only to make sure you drop the anvils directly on his head, but you have to be constantly hitting him as often as possible, while tearing down walls blocking your path and avoiding enemies while doing so. And do it before the level runs out, or you're screwed. Just everything about this level, when unexplained, was confusing and the concept is just hilariously bad. So did you guys try it? What do you think? Let me know below. Before we finish, I guess I should mention the game does have a final stage too. All the characters come back into a mini section to one short level. You play each individually in order, and yes, Fish Storm is now Land Storm. Her wind powers are still seemingly useless, and her jump is as awkward as Jessica Jones flies. It all ends with a weird battle against Aracde himself, where you fight him as Spider-Man and the X-Men help from their captured sidelines. He sure doesn't do a great job containing the X-Men, as they all seemingly are able to throw their projectiles from their cells during the fight. Once you win, you can throw this garbage game out and never look at it again. The end. Anyway, that's it for this retrospective. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if so, there are plenty more in my backlog you can check out. So thanks for stopping by.